Hi, welcome to the Greater Joy Podcast. We're back. I'm Erin.
I'm Jordan.
Back.
Thank you. Welcome back.
Thanks.
I feel like we have to, feels like an elephant in the room to us. I don't know if everybody else feels like that. But let's address.
Let's talk about it.
We were MIA last week.
Yep.
Basically, we're not professionals. We never claimed to be professionals.
Mm-hmm.
I've never claimed to be a boxer.
I never claimed to be a boxer. I never claimed to be a professional snowboarder.
And I definitely have not claimed to be a professional podcaster yet.
Definitely not.
So basically, we recorded our entire episode. We were so excited about it. We had talked about some really good things. And it was like Monday, Sunday, and I was like, hey, I was looking at the video, getting ready to edit. There's no audio.
Mm-mm.
And so I had a brief moment of tears, and then I realized we're not going to have a podcast this week. And that's that.
Yep. That's how the cookie crumbles. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope that addresses the allegations.
Because we got 0 texts.
The conspiracies.
I know all you people were in the comment section.
I know everyone was in the comment section.
I had 20,000 people call me.
Everyone was sitting there on Tuesday morning, and they were like,
oh my gosh, my
There's
favorite
no podcast. There's no podcast. How will I?
You won't.
You won't.
Well, I won't.
But now you will.
Now you will. We're here to return.
Because the mics won't be bad this week. Because they won't.
Because they won't. That's exactly right.
I said I went up to the mics this morning. I said, you better not be bad.
You better behave.
You better get it together.
Watch yourself.
You better watch yourself, bucko.
Yeah. But anyway, so also it kind of worked out though, because we have to film 2 episodes today, because next week's spring break.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into our spring break plans.
Yeah.
But we have to film 2 episodes, so it kind of worked out. So basically, we're going to do a quick recap, or not so quick, a recap of what did we talk about last week.
Okay.
It's called a segment of What Did We Miss?
Here on What Did We Miss? Hey, I have a confession to make.
Yeah.
I know this is shocking, but I have no memory of what we talked about last week.
You know what I do know? We made a really funny accidental joke that we kept saying throughout the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And that's gone. Yep. You'll never know the context of that.
I never will either.
Nope.
It was lost to time.
Lost.
Wait, actually, I do remember we were talking about First
Thessalonians.
What
did I kept calling
Tholossians.
it? First Tholossians.
Why is it not First Tholossians?
Well, it is First Tholossians now.
First Tholossians, and
I gotta be careful because I will say it wrong later. If I don't pull myself together, I will say it wrong.
First Thessalonians and Second Tholossians.
Second Tholossians is very important. If you haven't read Second Tholossians, get your Bibles out.
Oh yeah, get them out.
Get them
your
out.
Homework.
Get them to work.
Okay, what did we miss?
What did we miss? Well, let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you about my week from 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Because I have to talk about it.
Okay. Talk about it.
The people want to know.
Dish, girl, dish.
The first thing that I addressed was that I have this bird feeder on my porch, and I've been watching some birds fall in love.
Yes.
And I watched this little cardinal, but I always call it a red bird, but whatever, it was red. It was the male. And he's been coming here around 11 to 12 every day, sometimes in the evenings, and he gets some seeds. Well, then the other day he came with a lady friend, and he was up on the bird feeder, and she was like on the little railing, and he was bringing little seeds down to her. And we learned that that's like a way that they like woo their woman. They're like, hey, let me hunt for you. Let me gather these.
Let me forage for you.
Let me gather these seeds for you and crack them. He was cracking them open, and he was like giving them to her.
Men don't forage for their ladies anymore.
Why are men not foraging for us?
Go forage right now.
If you're looking for a guy, if you're a girl and you're looking for a man, find you a man that will go forage for you.
And you should not have to forage one bit.
No.
You should be sitting in your nest.
Just sitting there. Although I will say what's kind of feels backwards, and maybe it's not, is in most bird species, the male is like the really pretty bird.
Yeah.
And the female, the female cardinals are like diarrhea color.
Yeah.
They're not.
Birds just be like that.
But birds just be like that.
Yeah.
But
have you ever seen the nature documentary on like the bowerbirds?
No.
Oh well, that's required viewing. That's like required reading in my household.
And you're like with your family or like you personally?
Like my family. Like we all know about this, and I think I just assume that everyone knows about this. Do you know about bowerbirds?
No, I don't even know what those are.
Oh my gosh, you don't know about bowerbirds.
Maybe we'll have to watch it.
Okay, well, can I tell you about it?
Yeah, tell me.
Sorry. So bowerbirds, I don't know where they are. They're like in the jungle somewhere.
Okay.
And I want to say like maybe like India-ish. It literally does not matter.
They're in the wild.
They're in the wild. They're in nature, and they're these little birds, and they construct these things out these structures out of grass, and it's like it starts at the bottom, and it has like this big opening, and it comes up like to a point on top.
Is
and
it
it's
a
called
house?
It's well, they don't live in it.
Oh.
It's purely just for decoration. They're called bowers, and they fill the inside with decorations and trinkets and all sorts of things. But they are like, and it's just the males that do
So
this.
it's like their storage unit.
No. It's like their, I don't know. It's like their dating app profile page.
The more trinkets, the more attractive they are.
Yes.
So the females go buy these little trinkets, and they're
Literally-
like, "You have the most doubloons."
Yes, there'll be like the mating season or whatever. It lasts like only like a few weeks, and the females will go from bower to bower, and they'll stand in front of it, and they'll look at it. They'll like walk around it, and they'll look at it. And the male bird will like hop around, and he'll show off. He'll still be rearranging all the stuff to like
such
get
a
it
vivid
perfect.
image of like when you were a kid and you did like a science fair, and you had all the kids stand at their tables with their big posters on the table.
That's what
behind
it's
them,
like.
And I just see the male bird being like, "This is my piece of grass. This is my
No,
nutshell."
it is not a piece of grass in a nutshell. Like these birds will like color code their stuff.
I must watch
They
this.
like organize it by like little rocks and big rocks and shiny rocks, and they have like feathers like placed strategically. They have like all these like fruits and stuff, and they're like organized
because they're trying to get a woman.
Their form of courtship is just interior design.
So once they do that and they get the woman, do they use the trinkets or they're just done?
No, it is 100% decorative. It's
so
like
after that and they like move on, does that bird like do they mate for life, or does that bird continue to use that one house, or does could another bird stumble upon it and be like, I just found the jackpot of trinkets and like I'm taking over, this is my cocoon of trinkets?
That's a great question. I genuinely don't know.
Like does one bird, does he build this his whole life, and like every mating season he collects like the same, he adds things to his collection?
Maybe.
Or is it like he mates and then he moves on and all of that?
They definitely don't mate for life.
So
I do know that.
Every season, mating season, these birds are building these trinkets collections.
Yes.
And so if they're not guarding their trinket collection,
I don't know if they sabotage.
like could another bird hijack like if there's a bird that's like he like in the Bower Society, he has the highest trinket collection.
Yeah.
And like when he dies, they fight over his trinkets.
Maybe. I don't know. Because like in the documentary, you never see the two bowers in the same place. Like they're kind of separate.
They're kind of spread out.
They're not like door to door neighbors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I just remember like, okay, wait, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If you were a male bowerbird, what would your situation look like? What would you have in there?
Well, first, I would think women are after the shiny things. Like birds typically are attracted to things that are shiny.
Mhm.
So I would find. I'm trying to decide if I would go to like a Chuck E. Cheese and find all the loose coins, or if I would go to like an antique jewelry store and find all the like just steal jewelry.
Okay.
I think, but here's the thing: as a human, I'm like, oh well, jewelry is way more valuable than coins. But as a bird,
Yeah.
is that better or worse?
I don't know. Well, it could be like really shiny jewelry. I think that might be better.
That might be better. I think I would go to a thrift store because there's a lot of trinkets in thrift store.
Yes.
So if I was a male bowerbird, I would be going to hitting the thrift stores up, and I'd be finding my way in there.
That's a good idea.
Because there's just like that's a trinket. If I was a male bowerbird, I would pretend an antique thrift store is my trinket collection.
Yes.
I would convince her I built this cocoon and this is my trinket collection.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Imagine if they got their hands on their beaks on like some fairy lights, you know, and like a battery pack.
They were poking
Imagine
them
in a jungle they have.
You just
No.
see it twinkling out of their cocoon.
I changed my mind. You have this like grass, like little cocoon hut thing, and then you see those LED strips along the bottom of them.
No, along the top.
Along the
It's
top.
like along the top of his cocoon.
Yeah.
He's got the LEDs, and it's like the flashing from different colors.
Yep. The ladybird shows up, and she just passes out. She's overwhelmed.
This is it.
She's like, "This is it."
That's very funny. Wow, I must watch this documentary. It makes me think of this one. When I was really little, my grandpa had this documentary that he had recorded.
Mhm.
And I would go to his house and I would watch it every time. And I don't remember anything else but this one scene. I don't know if the entire documentary was about this. I don't know if it was about other things. I don't know. I was watching it for this one moment. And basically, it's this species of duck that they build their nest like in trees. They find like old owl
Okay.
nests that are like in the trees. And that's where they lay their eggs. And so the babies, one of the first things they have to do is fall out of this tree. But
yes,
like
I've seen this.
they don't die. Like their bones are just like, bird bones, whatever. They don't break. They don't die. Like they can just glide down, and they kind of like act like they're flying, but like they're not. Like a baby bird can't fly really.
Yeah.
And so he's like falling down, and there was like I just remember watching, like he had it recorded, and I would watch it over and over again, where the mom would just gracefully fly out and she'd wait at the bottom, and then the babies would just one by one plummet to the ground. And then once they all got down there, she'd take them off to the pond and they'd go swim. I guess once they're down there, they never go back up to the nest.
That's my thing. Is like, is that their own? Because I get that it's to like teach them how to fly, even though you're not doing that. But how did they learn how to fly? Because they can't get back up there.
Well, so I think it's like the gist of like why they do it is like to keep things from not eating their eggs, like snakes and probably that kind of stuff, to stay away from their eggs. And so by the time they're little and they hatch and they're cute, they can just go out in the pond and they build I'm sure they build like another nest, and then as they grow they learn to fly.
That makes more sense.
I think that's what it is. They've evolved.
It makes a lot more sense.
Not evolved. What's it called when it's not evolution, but it's
adapted.
They adapted.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you have a favorite bird?
Baby ducks, really.
Okay, well, yeah.
I don't know. I don't really think about birds a lot. I do. I will say I do like a good blue jay.
Yeah.
Because like you very rarely see them. I got to see one the other day, like around here.
I saw one yesterday.
See, like I like birds that you don't see a lot.
Yeah.
That when you do see them, it's like, oh, a little treat for me.
Aw, a little treat.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about birds.
We have. This is the bird show.
Welcome to the bird show.
The bird show.
The other thing that I 2 weeks ago discovered that changed my life. We went to Walmart for a late night treat.
Okay.
And we're perusing the bakery section, and Mitchell finds this cookie and cookie dip combo.
Okay.
So it's chocolate chip cookies with a cream cheese dip that has like little mini chocolate chips in it.
Oh.
And you dip your cookies in it.
Oh.
Or you make little sandwiches. And like, let me tell you, like the cookies had like just the right amount of chocolate chips, and like the dip had like the dip had the amount of chocolate chips that like maybe you get like one or two at a time. So it's like just crunchy enough. Like it's not a lot, and it's like the most beautiful holy matrimony of things I've ever seen and experienced in my life. And like I am a cream cheese girl.
Oh yeah, me too.
I love
me too.
Cheese. Like I'll eat it by the spoonful.
Yes. I am not a frosting
cheese.
Girl at all.
I like frosting, but I will every day choose cream cheese frosting over like a buttercream.
Same.
Cream cheese frosting is where it's at. And so that effectively changed my life when I was eating these cookie dip. I have it written down as cookie dip.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what else you call it other than cookie dip.
I am like so horrified that I've never had this in my life. You know what I mean? Like it's like a tragedy that I've never gotten to eat that yet.
I'm going to find it for you.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you about it, and I'm going to let you eat it and try it.
I want this so bad. It sounds, oh my gosh, right now that sounds so good.
Yeah.
Maybe my blood sugar's just low.
Maybe.
It sounds good.
Maybe it is.
Perhaps.
Maybe it's just low, but anything happened from that you can remember from 2 weeks ago for you?
I remember we talked about pimento cheese a lot. I really, really, really love pimento cheese.
We did talk about how much you love. Yes, tell us about your pimento cheese from HEB.
Okay.
Obsession, I would say.
You go to, okay, point of view, close your eyes. I'm going to set the scene. You go to HEB and you're so hungry and you've had a crazy week. You've been so busy and you get your groceries that you need, and the whole grocery trip you've been like, oh, I want that. And then you think, no, I don't actually need that. I just want it because I'm grocery shopping while hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been doing that for like 10 minutes. And then you go past, you're walking to the produce section and you're walking by this wall of goodies and cheese. And then in the bottom corner, not corner, but in the bottom row where you can see it, there's HEB pimento cheese with jalapenos. And then you lose all self-control and then you get it and then you buy a box of Wheat Thins because they're good, and then you eat the entire thing immediately when you get home. You haven't even unpacked your groceries. You just get home and you're just cranking them in your mouth with the Wheat Thins like this. And then it's the best moment of your life. And then you're like, this is the best food I will ever eat ever. And that's HEB pimento cheese.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to have an episode where I bring my cookie dip and you bring your pimento cheese.
It's really good.
And we just enjoy ourselves.
I think that sounds like a fantastic idea.
I think so too. I love that. Sometimes I can get like that with like hummus. Like sometimes
hummus is good.
I love hummus, and I can like when I have hummus, well, I buy hummus and I eat it like obsessively the first couple of days I have it, and then I forget about it for like 3 or 4 days, and then I remember I have hummus, and then I proceed to eat the entire container of hummus.
Yes.
Because it's like one of those things that like I can't just eat like, oh, a little bite or two with some hummus.
Yeah.
Like it's like I'm scooping.
Yeah.
Like big globs of that on there. Like I love hummus. Like a garlic or like a like a peppery hummus. Pepper, like a spicy hummus is like my favorite.
Okay. I got you. I don't have these feelings about hummus.
Really?
I like hummus a lot, but like I feel mostly neutral about hummus.
Okay. I like hummus a lot.
Okay.
I have to address something real quick that's something in my chair. My dog hides her bones around the house, and I've been sitting on my dog's bone for the past couple minutes. She eats other bones. There's this one particular brand bone that I bought her. This is so hard. It's not supposed to be hard. It's been sitting out for so long because she will not eat them. She only takes them and hides them around the house, and will hide them in different places. And then if they've been hiding for too long, she'll go get it out. She'll move it, or if you find it, she can't leave it there. She has to go put it somewhere else. So this has been in my chair. That's where her newest hiding spot was.
So she only likes this type of bone just to hide?
Yes, she won't eat it. She's had this bone for maybe 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
She will not eat it. And if I give her a new one, she'll just hide 2 of them.
Such a weirdo.
My dog is a freak.
She is a weirdo.
Yeah, she's a freak. I don't know.
Freaky freak.
But one of the other things that we commented on in the messed up episode was we talked about the coolest person on this planet is the person who can chase a ping pong ball without looking weird.
Oh, yes.
And our opinions on that. And I think we ended up talking about like Jesus is ultimately going to be the only person who can do that.
Jesus is the only person that could chase after a ping pong ball that fell on the ground and not look like an idiot.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Erin, I could not agree with you more.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that we talked about was we talked about 5 things. If you could send 5 things, we've discovered alien species somewhere, but they can't come to Earth. You're sending them 5 things. What 5 things are you sending them?
Okay.
Go.
What was your answer? Because I think my answer has changed.
Okay, so I think my answer's changed a little bit too.
Okay.
But I still stand by I would send them a snail.
Okay.
Because I think I would have to send them a couple snails, but like that's like counts as one because I think they would try to eat it at first. Like I think they would eat it, and then then eventually they would realize, don't eat it, put it in the dirt.
Or would they think that that's humans? It's snails.
No, like they'll know. They've had communications with us. They'll know that like we're not snails.
Okay.
So I would send them snails. I would send them, I do remember this, a fountain Dr. Pepper from Sonic.
Oh.
I would send them that.
Oh my gosh.
Barbecue water.
Yeah, barbecue water. Yes.
So good. That's what I would send them. The one thing, I don't remember anything else past those because I don't care about sending them those 2 things. The new thing that I would send them right now is I would send them a bowl from Panda Express with chow mein and orange chicken.
Yes. Oh, and you have to include the cream cheese rangoons.
Yes.
Have you ever had the cream cheese rangoons? They're the best thing ever.
They're so cream cheese.
Yeah, cream cheese.
Cream cheese.
But it's crunchy.
But it's good. Well, the cream cheese isn't crunchy.
Well, no, but like the rangoon.
It's like crunchy with the cream cheese. Oh, God bless.
I honestly, like when I go to Panda, I'm not going for anything other than the cream cheese rangoons.
See, I like them, but I don't know if I'm that level of addicted.
I love them.
I'm going for like
I'm serious about them.
It depends on the mood because sometimes I want to go and get orange chicken with rice because I like to stick my orange chicken in there and scoop as much rice on top of the orange chicken.
Yes.
Sometimes I do want the noodles.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a chow mein loyalist.
Yeah. Sometimes you can do the split. but I rarely do split.
Yeah.
And then the Ragoons are really good too. I don't get
Yeah.
them every time because I feel like Panda can be expensive, so I'm like,
Panda's expensive.
you gotta ration my servings.
Yeah. No. If I'm getting Rangoons, I just get a bowl.
Yeah. But I would send them that order from Panda. Those are the 3 things I did say I would send them like a taping of all of The Office.
Oh yeah, that's important.
Because that's really good. And then what else would I send them? I guess I have a new 5th thing to send them. I would send them. Here's where I'm thinking though. I don't know if this is accurate, but like I don't know why my brain's going here. But I would send them like an AC unit or like a big electric fan.
Not what I expected.
Because like, do they have that?
What?
Do they know that? It's like, like those big black box fans that you find at like baseball fields sometimes when it's so hot. I would send them like one of those because like
that is
like does their planet have wind, or do they think we can control the wind on our planet by using those fans? Like there's a lot of questions of.
I think they've invented spaceships. I think they've invented fans, but also
does their planet need it, or is it just like
so
temperate?
Presumptuous of me to say?
Yeah,
like who am I to say that they don't have fans?
What if their planet is just like the perfect temperature?
Yeah,
all the time for their species.
That's like opened my eyes.
So I would send them a giant box fan.
Okay, what would I send them?
You had said Shrek 1 and 2.
Oh yes. Okay. Well, I'm changing my mind. I don't want to send them a box set of Shrek 1 and 2. I want just Shrek 2 in a DVD, in like the portable DVD player that you had as a kid on road trips. That's what I want to send them.
Where the audio is like real scratchy.
Yes, and the screen is this big, and the buttons are also this big.
You have to share with your siblings, so it sits like 20.
Yes.
Feels like it sits
and this is like when you're younger,
away.
So it's like an argument. It's like a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I would send them that. I think I want to send them an orange push pop. That might be
okay.
Good.
I don't know if she listens, but Ashlyn, if you're listening, Ashlyn, we were friends in high school. She hadn't had an orange push pop ever. So her senior year of high school, on her birthday, I think it was on her birthday, I took her to get an orange push pop for the first time.
I can't tell if I remember this.
No, it was just me and her.
Okay.
We didn't take anybody else with us. I don't know why, like what was going on, but like we went and we had to go to like multiple gas stations to find it.
Oh. And they're not in gas stations usually.
No,
I don't know where they come from.
It ended up being at like a Family Dollar, like in one of their little ice cream things.
That makes sense.
But she had never had one.
I think they only. I feel like they only come from field trips. Like they don't
exist outside of like school cafeterias.
Exactly. Like
and Hofbrau's.
What's that?
At the
that
place. If you order on the kids menu, you can get like either an ice cream or an orange push pop.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I would kill for an orange push pop right now.
Okay.
I would. Okay, that's 2 things.
So Shrek on a portable DVD player.
Yes.
Orange push pop.
An orange push pop, and I would send them. I think I would actually. Okay, you know what I would do? I would do one of 2 things. I would send them either like the map or like guide to a zoo, or when I went to Fossil Rim as a kid, which is like the place with the animals that you drive through.
The drive-through safari, basically.
For context. And they would give you a flip book of like little details of like every animal they have. Yeah. I think I would send them that.
That's actually really brilliant because I'm just sending them a singular snail.
Oh no, they gotta know about every single type of antelope they have there and not much else. They're gonna know about every single type of antelope and cheetahs.
I love the context of that because if they get both of our care packages, are they gonna think all animals are the size of a snail?
They might.
I want them to.
They might.
I want them to think.
And I'm okay with that. That's 3 things.
Yep.
I would send them
pimento cheese.
I would send them pimento cheese. I would send them pimento cheese, and I would with wheat thins. I think that counts as one.
Yeah, that's like one.
That counts as one thing. And then I would send them. I want to send them like a gift card.
Like a gift card or like a credit card?
Like a gift card.
To where?
To somewhere. I'm thinking of it. Maybe Sonic. Maybe
I feel for some reason
Target.
In my head, it's like Five Below is where they'd want to go.
I think Five Below. Like Five Below or Walmart or something like that. I think I would send them a gift card as like like you can come here and shop.
Come here, buy from our Walmart.
Yeah,
I love that.
I think that's my answer.
I think that's the best answer ever.
Really? Thank you.
Yeah, I love the Handbook of Animals because, like, one, can they read English?
Well, they can figure it out.
They can figure it out.
They can figure it out from the Shrek subtitles.
You're right. Shrek can be what teaches them English.
They will learn English, but only words that are in Shrek. They just call everything in that book a donkey.
A donkey. Everything is a donkey. Donkey. Will it confuse them to see a donkey, like, cartoon and talking? Like, will they think donkeys speak English?
I think they'll think that donkeys just, well, I don't really.
I think there's a chance that they'll read that and they'll watch Shrek and they'll think that like animals just speak English.
No, because Shrek freaks out at the beginning.
Oh, that's right.
Unless I just send them Shrek 2 instead.
Where that's just the norm.
I take it back. I'm just sending them Shrek 2, not Shrek 1.
Okay. I think you should.
Okay, that's my answer.
Okay.
Oh, yep.
Well, as we wrap up, like we said in the beginning, we're going to go to first Colossians.
Yeah.
First Colossians.
Thessalonians.
First Thessalonians.
Colossians.
5:16. It's at the very end, and I'm gonna share. I had some backstory, and I really enjoyed like studying this and like digging into this because I shared last time we talked about this. I feel like it's just super similar to like his time, like the letter this is a letter that Paul wrote to a church. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the place where this church is, but he's writing this letter to a new church, and they're like pretty young, young believers, and they're all kind of in this season of just they have a lot of questions about their faith, they do. They have a lot of questions about their faith and just about like what's happening. Like a lot of them have been told and are believing that Jesus will return in their lifetime. There's a lot of them that are facing false teaching and false, like people aren't teaching the gospel correctly and just all of that. And then they're just facing persecution and just a lot of things like that. And so there's a lot to the beginning of the letter that Paul addresses. But this is in 5:16 is the end as he wraps up in the book or in the letter to them. And he's kind of giving them, like in the context before it, he's giving them like a list of like guidelines, I guess, that like God calls us to live by. And like what God calls us to do. So it's like some of them are like in verses 14 and stuff like that. It's like do good to one another, like don't repay evil, don't do evil back, like have patience, have mercy, like a lot of things like that. Like I'm not quoting it exactly, but like it's the gist of that. And so verse 16 in chapter 5 is just like him kind of continuing that. And so verse 16 just starts with like rejoice always. And that's literally like all verse 16 is. It says rejoice always. And then 17 is pray without ceasing. And then in all circumstances give thanks, for this is the will of God for you in Christ Jesus. And so I just like really loved like reading that and like digging into that, like that I almost felt like connected to it in a deeper sense of like people tell us all the time Jesus is going to return before we die. People say that to us in our generation. A lot of people believe that. People say that all the time. There's Christians and people are being persecuted in a form. Even in other countries, obviously, but even in America, like I think there's a form of persecution. I'm not saying like my persecution is the same, where people are being killed, but there is a form of persecution. And then there is like false teachings that I think are super real, where people just don't get it right. Like whatever they're preaching and whatever they believe, sometimes just don't get it right. And so there's just a lot of like that kind of like I kind of clung to that and felt like, oh my gosh, like it almost felt like the letter was written not to me, but just to our generation of believers. Like, hey, like this is all the things that God is. This is where you are. This is what God's saying. And so that was like really cool to just kind of almost connect super like on a personal level to that, and how it's just like interesting to see how what was happening to believers then still happens today. Like the enemy is still trying to use the same forms of to get at people, you know?
Mhm.
So I just really loved in verse 16 that it just said rejoice always. Like I just loved the fact that sometimes that's like in that season and in those times, like that's just what God has for you. It's just to rejoice always and pray without ceasing. And it just like challenged me, like, am I doing those things in this season? You know, like
Yeah.
all the laundry list of things that God calls us to live for, are you doing those things? And am I living by that, like day to day, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. I don't know. It just makes me think about like how much like we have, like it doesn't just like tell us like to like rejoice always. Like we have powerful reason to rejoice always.
Yeah.
And powerful reason to pray without ceasing. And just like, I don't know. Understanding that is crazy and it's very humbling because I don't know, it makes me think like I very much get caught up in my tiny little whatever that like doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I have every reason to rejoice always and every reason to like worship like fully 100% all the time.
Yeah.
Even though obviously I don't do that.
Yeah, I feel like, and we've talked about this before, like the sense of like having that like I always call it like a mountaintop moment.
Yeah.
You know, like I think a lot of people call it that, like just this mountaintop moment. Like those moments are super easy for me to be like, yeah, like I'm rejoicing in this. But it's just like the day to day that's like hard, I guess, or like I just get bogged down in stuff, or I'm just caught up in something else and I'm not doing that. And like,
yeah. For me, like, I don't know, and this is something that I'm trying to work on a lot, but for me, a lot of it is like being able to do that better just like comes from relying on the Holy Spirit to be disciplined. Like for like to help me be disciplined. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think that's good.
Yeah. I like it.
I like it.
I like that.
Yep.
It's like pimento cheese. I like it.
And on that note, I think that's all we have for y'all today.
Yeah.
Make sure to tune in next time.
Next time. Bye.
Bye.